everybody, welcome to Get Busy Watching. I'm your host, Honest Dan. Let's talk movies. Welcome to my rapid fire for all the movies that I saw in January. Let's get started. Wallace and Gromit are back, as well as their earliest enemy, Feathers McGraw. After Wallace invents a helpful robot, Feathers hacks it and uses it to cause chaos and escape his prison zoo. It's Wallace and Gromit, how can you not love it? It's cute, it's heartfelt, and just oh so likable. I feel like a lot of older IPs are coming out of the woodworks to comment on modern technology. But what I appreciate about this movie is that it's not strictly about AI, as seems to be the trend. It keeps it in a more timeless mentality of technology as a whole. It comments on how technology has its benefits, but also a danger in the wrong hands, as well as easily abused. The animation is classic and charming. Some moments I have to imagine were some of the most challenging that Aardman has ever done. The writing is superb, genuinely getting a rise out of me in the third act, and had me smiling from ear to ear all the way through. I adore this. If you've got a Rugrat, or you're a Rugrat in your soul of souls, then I can't recommend this enough. It's a jolly time. My honest rating for Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul, a 5 out of 5.
It's vengeance most foul!
Former CIA spies turned suburban family are hunted by the CIA and Russian terrorists for a key to something awful that they held onto for 15 years. Cameron Diaz is back, and I think I prefer the second Charlie's Angels movie. It's not good. Not that I was expecting it to be. What are these types of action comedies ever about? Former spies try to act like middle-class all-Americans, something happens that the bad guys figure out who they are, and then their kids freak out at their parents kicking ass, and at some point, the kids become hostages. I've seen it time and time and time again, even in non-comedies. It's as predictable as they come. Even the supposed twists aren't all that shocking, mostly because the rest of the flick is so boring and uninteresting. Couple that with the terrible writing, especially between Diaz and Glenn Close, I can't tell you how much my brain got scrambled. It's a January release, so it's kinda hard to be too mad at it, but it's still not worth it. Hard pass. My honest rating for Back in Action, a weak 3 out of 5, just because I missed Cameron.
That was insane.
But was it like a good insane or a bad insane?
A former Special Forces agent is targeted when he uncovers a conspiracy and must save his pregnant wife from the baddies. It's not bad. It certainly drags in places and has a clumsy-ass start, but I've seen worse. This is the type of thriller that starts off throwing you into the mystery of what the bad guys want and giving you the answer in a very prolonged flashback. If you can stomach the constant vague, "give us what we want" dialogue, as well as an unrealistically nimble and ass-kicking pregnant woman, then you might have a chance. I genuinely don't know why the story is structured the way it is. We spend so much time building up the main character's backstory that telling it chronologically wouldn't change the viewing experience. Hell, it might even improve it. The acting is fair, the writing is solid, and the action is sparse but decent, so I dug it. It's not a thriller for the books per se, but it's worth your time if you've got Netflix. My honest rating for Ad Vitam, a strong 3 out of 5.
Je te laisse une dernière chance pour régler tout ça. T'as 4 heures, pas une minute de plus.
A young girl and her family are stranded on an island, desperately trying to be rescued. But as the family's struggles get too much, a disturbing reality begins to unfold. While not the most pretentious of its kind, it still really thinks highly of itself. The story is as disconnected as the family is. It's trying to be a survival story, while also being a familial drama, while also being a psychological drama, while also being an Arabic cultural reality check, but nothing gels together. It's nearly impossible to discern where reality ends and imagination begins. I do admit that it's fascinating to interpret what is presented and what I think seems to be different from others, so that's fun. But it's so important for a film like this to have subtle clues as to what's real and what's fake, and how they overlap. If that fails, then so too does the story as a whole, and I feel like that's what happened here and why I couldn't connect with it. I won't say that it's the worst I've ever seen, but it's pretty full of itself. Viewer beware. My honest rating for The Sandcastle, a week 3 out of 5.
لازم نواصل بأي لحظة.
أصحابي هونيك عم يلعبوا شوي.
أي لحظة؟
Iris is happy in her relationship, but discovers not only that she's a robot under the control of her boyfriend Josh, but that she was set up to take the fall for a murder. Think of it as a blend between Ex Machina with a Stepford Wives sugarcoating, but not really being better than either. I will say the performances carry the brunt of the weight. Jack Quaid and Sophie Thatcher are unbelievably good in their respective roles. Thatcher runs the gamut of going from delusionally happy to full-on freakout mode to survivalist tired of the Bluetooth shackles and wants to live. While Quaid is a lanky, baby-faced Gaston going from a dude who has fluid morals, but otherwise tried to do the right thing with the tools that he had, but spirals seamlessly into madness. The problems arise when Iris fights back. Baffling direction, seemingly useless and confusing plot devices, and writing issues that put the entire story into question in hindsight. By no means making the movie bad, but they hold it back from true goodness. It's really not bad. I don't agree with the reviews that are saying that it's the first must-see movie of the year, but no, it is worth your time. My honest rating for Companion, a strong 3 out of 5.
The days of you controlling me are over.
A US Marshal and her captured convict find themselves trapped in a small plane with the pilot who turns out to be a hitman for a criminal that the convict is about to rat on. It's pretty messy. Not without its unintended entertainment, but ultimately no, it's not very good. The setup is pretty solid. Tiny plane, the only experienced pilot is the guy trying to kill everyone, flying over hundreds and hundreds of miles of below freezing temps. It had its potential, but then the actual movie happens and you're just watching bad decision after bad decision. The Marshal can competently fly the plane, that has autopilot, so there goes that tension. The action is fine in the plane, but once it starts crashing into snow and maintaining its ability to fly with 0 damage done to the hull, I was checked out. Not helped by some boring-ass exposition and a thoroughly unremarkable use of extended talents rendered into voiceover roles and way too many antagonists that you never see the faces of. With the exception of a funny-looking Mark Wahlberg and his overacting, this is an easy pass. My honest rating for Flight Risk, a week 3 out of 5.
Don't shoot him, we need him!
Mayday, mayday. We've been compromised. The pilot's a hitman.
A teen girl thinks her dead best friend is haunting the new house she and her divided family moved into. This was fascinating. Heads up, this is not a horror movie. It's kind of a murder mystery. Kind of. There are only 2 things I don't like about this. 1, the first 15-20 minutes. The formula was 1 minute scene, cut to black. 1 minute scene, cut to black ad nauseum, and it drove me nuts. Thank God it simmered out and scenes were allowed to be longer than 60 seconds, and this became a non-issue over time. And the ending felt either rushed or Soderbergh, being an artist doing an art, didn't like the last 5 minutes. But everything in between was so intriguing. What is with this ghost? Who is it really? What's everything really building up to? And it keeps you guessing the entire way. It won't be for everybody, but I think it's worth it if you're looking for something just a little bit different out there. My honest rating for Presence, a strong 3 out of 5.
The world cracks apart.
Will Ferrell's daughter and Reese Witherspoon's sister are getting married and accidentally get double booked at the same wedding venue on the same day, and chaos ensues. I saw this right after watching Love Hurts, and I feel like this double feature made me suffer. I've said it a million times, I hate Will Ferrell. The man is not funny, and this is no exception. When he's trying to be funny, it's pure cringe. When he's trying to be dramatic, he's extraordinarily unlikable. The script is enough to make me vomit. A running gag is that Gen Zs think that saying lady in an angry fashion is sexist and needs to be corrected, even though that's not a goddamn thing. Nothing works, and even goes completely random and desperate later on. The only redeeming quality is Reese Witherspoon, who is always a competent talent. But I'm very biased toward her, so take that compliment with a grain of salt. This is terrible. Avoid this like the plague, I beg you. My honest rating for You're Cordially Invited, a 2 out of 5, saved by Witherspoon alone.
Oh no. We've double booked your weddings. What?
Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Hit that like or dislike button. All engagement is welcomed. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. And as always, have a great day, stay safe and healthy out there, and hope to see you soon.